Hello guys, in this video I'm going to show you how you can install Kali Linux on your VMware virtual machine. It can be VMware Player or VMware Workstation, the procedure will be the same. Now hopefully you have already downloaded VMware Player or VMware Workstation, so just open your VMware virtual machine. And to download the ISO file for Kali Linux, just go to your favorite browser and search for Kali Linux here. And the first link which will appear here will be from kali.org. So we are going to just click this link, or you can directly click this download link from here. So let's click this link, which is going to open kali.org. And in here you have a few options at the top, and one of the option is download. So just click this downloads option, and now you have different ISO files here. So the one I have downloaded is this one, which is the ISO file for 64-bit Kali, okay, and it's about 2.6 GB file, so you need to wait for the download to complete. So I have already downloaded this ISO file from this link, but if you haven't, just click this ISO option from here and wait for the download to complete. And once this ISO file is downloaded, it's going to look like this, which says Kali Linux 2016, and then it's going to give the version which is amd64.iso. okay, so just download it, and once it's downloaded, we are ready to install Kali Linux on our VMware virtual machine. So in here, in your VMware player, just click this option which says create a new virtual machine, and in here you have three options. One is installer disk, which we don't want. We want this installer disk image using ISO, so just click the second option and then browse for your ISO file. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this link and paste it here and open this location in which my Kali ISO file is there. Just choose your ISO file which you have downloaded and just click open, and then click next. Now in here you just need to choose Linux, and Kali is not listed in this list of Linux operating system which is listed in VMware Player. So what we can choose from here is this option which says Debian 7.x 64-bit, or you can choose Debian 8.x 64-bit, whatever is the latest version of Debian. So we are going to choose Debian 8.x 64-bit. okay, so just choose this option and then click next, and in here you can give the name to your virtual machine. So for example, I'm going to give the name Kali 64-bit. okay, and then this is the location where your virtual machine will be installed. So if you want to change it, just browse the location wherever you want, and once you selected it, just click next from here. Now in here it's going to ask you to specify the disk capacity. By default it requires 20 GB, but you can increase it from here. For example, I want around 30 GB. And this second option is fine for us, which says split virtual disk into multiple files. So just choose the second option here. okay, and then click next, and in here you can just see the selections you have made. For example, the name we have selected is 64-bit, and the hard disk is 30 GB, and in here memory is 512. So if you want to change it, you can just click this customize hardware button, and it's going to open this kind of hardware interface, and in here we can increase the memory. By default it's 512 megabyte but I want, for example, 2 GB of memory, so I can just scroll this scroll bar to 2 GB. And in here by default it uses one processor, so we can choose multiple processors also. For example, I want to choose 4 core processor. So just choose 4 from here, and once everything is done, just close it. Okay, so once your customization is done, you can just click finish from here. So once you click finish, it's going to create a new virtual machine for you. You can see Kali 64. So just select this Kali 64 from here and then click play virtual machine, and it's going to start the installation of Kali Linux. So you just need to wait for a few seconds until this installation starts. Now in here, what we need to choose here is the graphical install. So just press your down key and just choose this option which says graphical install. Okay, and click enter or press enter button, and then it's going to start the procedure for your Kali Linux operating system install. Now in the next step, what we need to do is we need to choose the language which we want to use for Kali Linux. So for example, we want to choose English as our language, so just leave it as default, otherwise choose your language and then click continue. Now in here you can choose your location, right? So you can choose from this list the country and area in which you are living in. So for example, I want to choose UK, and then I will click continue. Okay, now the next step is to choose your keyboard layout for your computer. So for example, if you are using a British English keyboard, then you can leave it as default. Otherwise, choose the keyboard type which you are using. For example, I am using German keyboard, so I can choose this option, German, and then I will click continue. Okay, so now it's going to load the installer component from CD, and it's going to just finish this progress bar loading additional components. So we just need to wait for some time to complete this process, and then we can go forward. Okay, now in the next step, we are asked for the configuration of the network, and the default name for our host name is Kali. You can give one word name to your host name. I will leave it as default, but you can change it, right? So I will click continue, and then here it will be asked for your domain name. I will leave it as default, which is blank, and I will just click continue. And now it's going to ask us for providing the password. Okay, so we need to give the password which we can remember. So you just need to give your password. So I'm going to type my password, and then once again I am going to re-enter my password to verify. So just once again the password, and then I'm going to click continue. Okay, and now it's going to detect the disks, and it's going to once again load some components, and in this step it's going to ask for the partition disk. We are going to leave everything as default, which is guided use entire disk. Okay, just click continue, and once again click continue, and in here also click continue. Okay, and here it will be asked that partition disk, finish partitioning and write changes to disk. So we are just moving ahead and we are choosing the default option here. So just click continue, and in here you can see partition disks, and it will be asked to you that write the changes to the disk. So by default it's chosen no, but here we need to choose yes. Okay, so choose this second option which says yes, and then click continue. Okay, and now it's going to install the system. So just wait for this progress bar to reach 100%, and then we can move forward. Now in the next step you will be asked that configure the package manager, and here it asks use a network mirror. So we need to choose the second option, which is default option. So just leave it as default and click continue here, and in here you just need to give the package manager HTTP proxy information. So I'm going to leave it as blank, and I'm going to click continue, and then it's going to configure apt for us. Now in the next step, it's asking to install the grub bootloader to master a boot record. We will leave this as yes and click continue. And in here it's asking to install the grub bootloader on hard disk, so we will choose this option, which is second option, which says dev/sda. so just choose the second option and then click continue. And in some time our installation is going to be finished. So in here it says finish the installation, and it says installation is complete, so it is time to boot into your new system. Make sure to remove the installation media so that you can boot into the new system rather than restarting the installation, right? So we will just click continue, and now it's going to boot into our new Kali Linux operating system. So in here, if you see this kind of interface, you just need to wait for a while, and then you will be able to see your login window for Kali Linux. So just wait for this process to complete. And now we can see this kind of interface, which is asking us to give the username. We are going to use the username root here, and I'm going to click next. And the password is the password which you have set. So whatever password which you have set, you just need to give your password here, okay? And then click sign in. And now it's going to sign in to our Kali Linux operating system, and hopefully we will be able to see our Kali Linux desktop environment. So now you can see this kind of Kali Linux desktop environment, so you know that Kali Linux is already installed in our virtual machine, which is VMware. So in this way you can install Kali Linux on your VMware virtual machine. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and bye for now.